Hello everyone, 8th class students. Today we are going to do important questions. Okay? In my previous video I have given you the assignments of chapter number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I hope you have enjoyed them. This video is regarding the important questions of chapter number 5, coal and petroleum. Very important natural resource. This is also known as fossil fuel. Coal and petroleum both are fossil fuels. In this chapter 5, coal and petroleum, we will do some very important questions in this video. You all students are very intelligent. I know this. So in order to increase your intelligence, your caliber, these questions are going to be very fruitful. Okay? Question number 1 is, what are natural resources? The various resources which are obtained from the nature. You know nature? What is nature? Nature is the best gift of God to all the living forms. Okay? So we should respect our nature, we should conserve our nature. So what are natural resources? The various resources which are obtained from the nature. They are called natural resources. Can you name some natural resources? Yes, you know very well, water, air, soil, sunlight. All these are the best examples of natural resources. Now in question number 2, what are exhaustible and inexhaustible natural resources? Okay. Now in question number 1, we have discussed what are natural resources. Now the two new words in front of you are exhaustible and inexhaustible. What do you mean by exhaustible natural resources and inexhaustible natural resources? My dear students, the meaning of exhaustible is something which is going to be finished someday. Okay? This is known as exhaustible. They can be finished. They can be finished. And the opposite meaning of inexhaustible is, the opposite of exhaustible is inexhaustible. Means they are not going to be finished simply. So what are exhaustible natural resources? They are limited. Naturally, if they are going to be finished, they are limited in the nature and can be, yes, can be exhausted. Okay? They can be exhausted very soon. If we are not paying any attention, if we are not giving priority to the best use of them, so one time will come, they will exhaust by our activities. So such type of natural resources which are limited, less in number, and which can be exhausted very soon by human activities, they are known as exhaustible natural resources. Now, some examples I'm going to give you here. Forests, okay? Why? Because a human being, because of his need, because of increasing population, day by day, we are cutting our natural resource forest. One day will come when there will be no forest for any use. Similarly, coal, petroleum, they take millions of years to make. Okay, one drop of petroleum, it took millions of years to form. But the consumption rate is so high that within a few seconds or minutes, we burn that drop very easily. What will happen? One day will come when we don't have this coal, petroleum, minerals, wildlife, natural gas anymore. Now, next is what is inexhaustible natural resources? As I told you, the meaning of the word inexhaustible means which can be exhaust, which cannot be, sorry, which cannot be exhaust. They are present in unlimited quantity. Okay, just opposite to exhaustible natural resources. There we discussed that they are present in limited amount, but in exhaustible natural resources they are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted by human activities. For example, if we are talking about water, air, they have their cycles, okay, water cycles to replenish the water. uh, Air cycle, nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle, carbon cycle, to replenish them, okay. Soil, we can replenish the soil. So these are in a large quantity, unlimited quantity. They are present in the nature and they are not likely to be exhausted by human activities. Very good example, air and sunlight. Every day we are using the light energy, the heat energy of the sun. Okay, so these are the examples of inexhaustible natural resources. In question number 3, just define fossil fuels. What are fossil fuels? This is a question. The fuels formed by the remains of dead plants and animals are called fossil fuels. Okay, the fuels formed by the remains of dead plants and animals are called fossil fuels. For example, coal and petroleum. So what does the word fossil means? Which is made up of dead living beings. Either they are plants or animals. If we are talking about coal, it is formed by the dead plants, and if we are talking about the petroleum, it is formed by the dead remains of animals, sea animals especially. Next, fourth question, very important question. How is coal formed? Everybody should know this, how coal is formed. So coal is a fossil fuel. and because it is a fossil fuel, it is formed by deeply buried remains of vegetation. What do you mean by vegetation? What is the meaning of vegetation, 8th class students? Vegetation means, yes, trees or forests, means plants. Okay. So coal is a fossil fuel which is formed by deeply buried remains of vegetation like forest under compression, under high pressure and very high temperature. These deeply buried remains of vegetation, they converted into coal. Very simple. At under these conditions, like very high pressure, high temperature, we get the coal. Okay, from the dead remains of buried vegetation, which you call as forest or trees, plants. Now, after doing this question, how coal is formed, our next question is question number 5. What do you mean by carbonization? What do you mean by carbonization? Carbonization words, look here, my dear students, and listen carefully. Carbonization word is made up of the word carbon. Okay. So, very simple answer, carbonization is what? As we are talking about coal, coal contains what? Mainly it contains carbon. Okay. We are calling this substance as coal. Coal means derived from carbon because the main source of carbon, the plants, which make carbohydrates, they are buried. They are buried under very high pressure or temperatures. They are going to convert to give this coal substance to us. That is why, as coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation forest into coal is called carbonization. This process of converting the dead vegetation into coal, it is known as carbonization. Clear? I am doing my best, I am giving my best to make you understand the concept, the chemistry behind the answers. Okay? So listen my videos carefully. Question number 9 is define Coke. It is not a Coca-Cola. Okay? Coke is a tough means very hard, porous, having pores on it, and it is black in color. It is a tough, porous and black substance which is obtained from, now listen carefully, which is obtained from, coke is obtained from coal. Okay. What's the raw material? Coal is the raw material. We are getting coke from coal. And it is an almost pure form of carbon? Very important question. If you are getting this question in MCQs and your statement of question is take the pure form of carbon, then what will be your answer? Yes, right. Very intelligent students you are. Your answer will be coke. Okay, coke is the pure form of carbon. The next question number 10 is explain destructive distillation. Now the word in itself is destructive, and distillation is the new word for you people. So it's good to listen first and then try to understand. After that, start writing. Okay, start noting. So it is the process of heating of wood or coal in the absence of air. In the absence of air, mainly when we are talking in the absence of air, we are talking about which gas? Yes, oxygen. When we are heating or burning the wood in the absence of air, we are doing the method of destructive distillation. Now define coal gas. What do you mean by coal gas? Obvious, gas obtained during the burning of or during the processing of coal to get coke. Okay, when we are doing this process of converting coal into coke, the gas released at that time is known as coal gas. You can write this in such a way also. It can be used as a source of light and heat. Okay, coal gas is used as a source of light and heat. Next question is question number 12. What is coal tar? Coal tar is a black, thick liquid. What is coal tar? It is a black, thick liquid. You have seen this substance many times when the surfacing of roads are going on. Have you seen that? It is a black, thick liquid obtained as the product. Again, when during the processing of coal to get coke. The gas we are getting coal gas, and the thick liquid we are getting by the processing way of coal to get coke is known as coal tar. Okay, got it? The gas is coal gas and the thick liquid is what? Coal tar. And just imagine coal tar is a mixture of 200 substances. Again, this is the question of your concern. You can get this question in your MCQs. How many substances are there in the mixture of coal tar? They are near about 200 substances. Now question number 13, what are the uses of coal tar? Just write the main uses of coal tar. One, you have seen, generally everybody knows that coal tar is used for surfacing roads. Now its products, the products of coal tar, they are used as starting material in industries or for manufacturing. A large number of substances such as dyes, drugs, perfumes. Okay, for manufacturing these substances, these are the examples. In the manufacturing of dyes, drugs, perfumes, naphthalene balls, we are using this coal tar as a starting material. Okay, very simple. This is the first point of the answer. Second one is, as you know very well, coal tar is also used for metallurgy. Okay, or metalling the roads. Coal tar is used for metalling the roads, for making the roads more sportive, more strong. Now next question is, just give the definition of petroleum, define petroleum, and one more additional question is added. How it is formed, very important. Two questions are there in one. Define petroleum and how it is formed. Petroleum is a dark, oily liquid from which many valuable substances like petrol and diesel are obtained. over millions of years under a like coal under a very high temperature pressure. Now in the case of coal formation, we have learned there that they are made up of buried vegetation. Now here when we are talking about petroleum, which is a dark oily liquid from which many valuable substances like petrol and diesel are obtained, they are made from animals, okay, over millions of years under a very high temperature and a very high pressure. The transformed dead sea organisms into petroleum. Now look here, listen carefully students, we are talking here about what type of animals. They are dead sea organisms. This is very important to listen to understand. When we are talking about the formation of petroleum, we are talking about dead sea organism, okay. Next is question number 15. Define natural gas. Again, this question is very important. Obvious, this video is for important questions. So again, we have one more very important questions. Define natural gas. Answer is, it is a very important fossil fuel. Again, we are talking about fossil fuels. It means natural gas is also made by the dead remains of living beings. Now it is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas CNG. What is the full form of CNG? Compressed natural gas. How natural gas is stored under very high pressure, and when we are storing this natural gas under very high pressure in the form of liquid, this is known as CNG, compressed natural gas. Explain the term refining of petroleum. Now you come to know how petroleum is formed. Now what is the process of refining this petroleum? We'll discuss in this question. Explain the term refining of petroleum. The process of separating the various constituents fractions of petroleum is called refining. It is carried out in a petroleum refinery. The process of separating the various constituents fractions of petroleum जो the products we are getting from the petroleum, the process of separating them, that is simply known as refining, and it is carried out in a petroleum refinery. Okay, where it is carried out? It is carried out in a petroleum refinery. Next, question number 17. Name the various constituents of petroleum. Now, what are the constituents? What are the products? Different products of petroleum we are getting. Number one, very important. Everybody has this constituent of petroleum at their homes. LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, one of the major constituent of petroleum. Second one is petrol, another very expensive, valuable fossil fuel is this petrol. Third one is kerosene, burning fuel. Again, diesel, very important constituent of petroleum. Then fifth one is lubricating oil, which is used for lubricating the vehicles, machinery. Sixth one is paraffin wax. We are getting from this petroleum. Bitumen, which is very important nowadays, we are using this substance for the surfacing of roads instead of coal tar. These are the 7 very important constituents of petroleum. Next, question number 18. What is bitumen? Bitumen is a constituent of petroleum we are getting after petroleum refining, and it is the petroleum product, you can say, and it is used for surfacing the roads nowadays instead of coal tar. Its durability and strength is more than coal tar. That is why we are using. In Bangalore city, you can see all the roads they are made up of by the surfacing of bitumen. So it is a petroleum product which is now used in road surfacing in place of coal tar. Okay, this is sufficient. Now next is question number 19. Define black gold. My dear students, your mothers, they are very crazy for this gold, but we are not talking about that gold. Here in this video we are talking about black gold in this chapter, coal and petroleum. Define black gold. Due to great commercial importance. What do you mean by the word commercial? Commercial means on a large scale. From the point of view, we are talking about business type, okay, on a large scale, commercial. Due to great commercial importance of petroleum, it is also called as black gold because it is very expensive, very valuable, and day by day the prices of this petroleum, they are going up as their consumption rate is much more than their production rate. Next is question number 20, your last question of this video. What are petrochemicals? I think we have done this question in previous chapter also. The useful substances that are obtained from petroleum and natural gas are called as petrochemicals. The useful substances that are obtained from petroleum and natural gas are called as petrochemicals. Thank you. Have a nice day.